and welcome back to the Pretty Little Podcast. We're your hosts.
My name is Phoebe.
And my name is Caroline, and today we're going to be yapping about everything under the sun. And it is Thanksgiving week, you guys, so you know what that means. It's the golf cart competition week. Phoebe, are you allowed to talk about it since this is going to air technically before the parade?
Oh, I don't think I should. And I'm guys, I think that you guys might think that I'm being a little bit like I'm kind of joking. I'm not. I think that Mom might actually have an issue if I were to reveal too much. I dropped
this
a little hint on the Patreon, and I had to order. I got what I ordered. I just opened it, and I had to order another one because I was afraid it wouldn't be enough.
Well, Phoebe, that's ridiculous. And I can't wait till can you just tell everyone what it is?
I ordered green paint.
Green paint for what?
Okay, guys, fine. We're doing Shrek.
Okay, the jig is up. We're doing Shrek. It is like the year of Shrek. Obviously, Charlie XCX just did a Shrek thing on
a
SNL.
Shrek album.
So a Shrek album. They are releasing. I heard they're releasing a sequel to the Shrek franchise. I know there's already like a Shrek 2. This is a sequel to the franchise. It's called Wicked, Part 1. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's pretty underground. But anyway, guys, Phoebe, when you're saying it's not going to be enough, I think you sound insane right now. It's going to be way too much. It's going to be like when someone gets too much hand sanitizer and they're like, God, please be like take some.
Dripping.
You know, yeah.
But yeah, I did order more just to be sure. I didn't want to wake up morning of and half-ass it.
Yeah, no, that's so smart of you to be prepared. So on the Patreon, we did discuss whether or not you'd be painting in the morning or at night before sleeping. Are you which have you decided to do? Wrap yourself in saran wrap and sleep in the paint?
Well, I think I'm going to sleep under the house. So there's standing up.
Actually, better idea, character work. What if you slept under the house laying down with striped socks on and ruby red slippers sticking out?
Well, I'm not being her.
I know you're not.
Wrong character. I'm gonna have Emmeline and Lily duct tape me to the side of the house, but like over my arms so that I
don't change
sleep.
Your mind and run away.
Well, so that I can sleep but upright, so there's no chance that anything gets messed up.
You can't sleep upright without duct tape?
No.
Interesting. Famously, I can.
I'm not a bat.
We have photos of me. Well, I didn't say upside down, Phoebe. I just said standing up. No one said you have to hang upside down. No one said you have to hang from your toenails, Phoebe. Jeez, oh man.
But I took all of work off this week.
You're not going to laugh at me saying speaking of after saying something about your toenails?
What were you going to say?
Speaking of. I don't know, but I just thought it was like hilarious to make people think that like I'm like speaking of your toenails.
Again? Well, Mom and I were already strategizing this morning. She's showing me everything that she's bought.
Okay.
And we're already, if you can even believe it, talking about next year.
I absolutely can't believe it. Yeah, guys. So if you aren't on the Patreon, I did say that I'm not going this year. It just didn't work out for us to travel, but it's sad because of the theme. So you'll see what I'm missing out on. But I have no doubt that my presence is not going to affect whether or not we take this thing.
No, and guess what? There's what some are calling a reception and what others at our beach house are calling a victory celebration after party.
Tell me more about this.
The resort will be having a reception afterwards.
And Mom is already calling it a victory party?
No, I am just now. Mom hasn't said that yet, actually. But
Mom's going to love it.
I know she is. But I think there's going to be free Bloody Marys and free mimosas at this reception.
That is one thing. Anthony was like, God, I'm really sad. I'm going to miss your mom's Bloody Marys this year. And I was like, yeah. And
I'll buy him some of that, the Charleston mix. I'll bring it.
Yeah, that'd be great. He loves them. For those of you who, oh my God, I love that. Phoebe's showing me the new Diet Coke can, and it has like a vintage Santa on it, a vintage ho-ho on it.
Very cute.
I think that there is always a chance that there are people listening to this who are like, what the hell is the golf cart parade? And so we're going to explain it a little bit. So guys, many moons ago for Thanksgiving, I went to college in Charleston, as most of you know, and I was in a show that meant I could not go home for Thanksgiving. And I think I was like a sophomore in college. So that's when this started. And so it was about 10 years. It's almost the 10-year anniversary of this. I think
Which is
next
so
year
crazy.
maybe is the 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
Or this year
We got to
is.
go
Well,
big.
go-
What if we
yeah.
pay?
Well,
what if we pay
always.
homage? We pay homage to all of our past.
We do like a conglomerate, and everyone's like, wait, greatest hits. And everyone recognizes all the designs, of course. So guys, mom
And
was
you
like, well,
wait,
that
pause,
just won't
pause,
do.
pause. So I locked the door, of course.
Is she trying to get in?
Yes, and I hear her from the other side go. I hear her go. She goes, huh, Willie. She's still here, all she said.
Lily.
Okay, we have to pause 1 second.
Why do I have to pause? They love when she makes a cameo.
Well, I'm not going to turn it off. I have to go open the door.
Okay, guys, we're going to put a pin in me explaining the golf cart parade to you. This might be a chaotic ep. It's holiday week. It's always chaos. Have you been to a mall this week? It's especially chaos there. Retail workers, God bless you. Grocery store, don't even get me started on that. I was really thinking Phoebe and Mom are going to come into the screen. I was going to see them.
Well, she's telling
they
me I'm
would
being too loud.
Speak.
Hello, Gil. She is so loud. I was in the bathroom and I was like, oh my God, is there a tackle?
And you didn't recognize the sound of her
Is there
voice?
someone attacking Phoebe in the other room?
No. What was she? I don't remember the screen that would have made you think someone was attacking her.
I can't hear you because she's not sharing.
I said, I can't remember what she yelled or said that would have made you think she was being attacked. Could you elaborate?
Well, it was just the sound, the loudness. I couldn't make out the words, but I could hear her. She doesn't talk like this.
She talks like this. I know she does. Except when you want to have a conversation with her. Then she's going to whisper. She's actually going to ask you if she can
Then
just
she's
read
like
lips.
this. Hormone harmony.
Not the hormone harmony call out 2 ups in a row. Oh, we're just explaining the lore of the golf cart parade. Do you want to add it? Because we were like, there might be some people listening who weren't around when we first started talking about it. So they might be thinking, what the heck? We didn't give anything away for this year, understanding that this episode comes out before the actual parade. But do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Well, I would just say this.
Okay.
If we don't win, it's not a happy Thanksgiving.
And guys, that is where I get it. That
and
is
I'll
exactly
also
where I
just
get
say
it.
this.
Oh.
The family pretends like they hate it, but they love it.
They absolutely love it.
so
Phoebe
I was
wants the mic back so bad. She's ripping it out of Mom's hands. And Mom said, I'm not done. Mom's
guest
boxing
host
her
this week.
out.
Back off.
This is like an action movie.
Anyway, I was on the phone with Liney, and then KK, she let me talk to KK for a minute. And the reason Phoebe talks so loud is because you can't hear yourself.
Yes.
So she's trying to hear herself talk, so she talks louder so she can hear herself. Anyway, but maybe y'all know that. I don't use.
She debunked it.
noise-canceling
She figured it
headphones.
out.
Anyway,
Headphones, you guys. That's why.
KK gets on the phone. She goes, "Oh, we cannot wait. What is our costume going to be this year?"
Oh my
And
goodness.
I didn't have her costume yet, so I was like, I also got her a sweatsuit from the girls department at Target.
Oh my God. Send
So I don't know
pics.
I think it'll fit her, but I mean, it's nothing great. But I figured it's more likely she'll enjoy wearing that. But anyway, G Daddy's gonna have a shirt. Oh, well, now we just gave it away, so you can't put this in the episode.
She dead ass said we cannot put it in.
Also, this is not a video app because look.
Well, it never is because of that exact reason. Because that's how we feel every time. Well, Mom, okay, we'll bleep out the part about what we're dressing up as and stuff so you don't know that. But do you want to just like describe the actual event in your own words?
Well,
It's hard to put words to it.
It's actually this. It's like one year, the first year we ever did it, we just showed up and we said, we're going to do this golf cart parade. And we had no plan at all.
Yes.
And we were like, well, let's just wrap a bunch of presents and put them on the top. And I mean, it looked cute, but whatever. And we won. And it was insane. And ever since then, every year it is, I mean,
amped
it gets
up. I wish you guys
it
could
is
see
amped
Mom's
up.
face. It's like her teeth gritted when she said, and we won. She was I mean, there was a moment my dad loves to call out where she looked over. We're like wrapping these boxes. We're doing what I would like have zip ties to connect them on top. And Dad references this moment all the time because Mom looks at him and goes, I think we can take this. And it was like, we're just doing this for fun. We're just doing this. It's something fun to do since we can't go home for Thanksgiving this year. And I mean, who knew what a monster we would create?
And,
a beautiful monster.
It's turned into a real thing.
It is. Well, people come from far and wide to do. Just wait till now. We've talked about it on the episode. This year we have so many more listeners. Next year we're gonna have to get early registration.
Some of them could be here.
Well, I hope you will show yourselves if you are. If you are a road warrior who is in the Wild Dunes area, you gotta show up for the golf cart parade. You don't have to participate. You can show up and people throw candy.
So afterwards this year, they're doing a little reception up on the plaza. Music, free mimosas and Bloody Marys.
Wow, but it's not going to be as good as your Bloody Mary. Oh, she's checking the Apple Watch.
Well, my phone's ringing.
Well, I have other people who want to talk to me too.
I did get my dill pickle vodka, so yes, they will be delicious.
Oh, yum. Well, I heard it's not just a reception. It might, for some people, be more of a
I told Caroline,
victory party.
She won't let me hold the microphone. I told Caroline, I said, you know, this year they're actually doing something that some are calling a reception and others are calling a victory after party celebration.
It's going to be a victory lap.
Oh, yeah, we're stealing the golf cart and we are taking it for the long way around Wild Dunes.
Come on, let's practice our victory lap.
Run. Wow. Run. I think the victory lap should be in the golf cart, Mom, not running on your foot, on your feet.
Okay.
Phoebe just said, I have a story I have to tell on the podcast. Mom said, okay, and like tilted the mic in her direction, but kept the headphones on. Love you, Mom. Thank you so much. We all love having you on.
99.9% of that.
Mom just said 99.9% of that has to be cut. Yeah, right. Not happening. Just bleep out any details. The fact that I'm even saying that out loud is mortifying. Can you put a pin in your story? Because I do want to finish explaining, because Mom like kind of explained it, but like not really.
Yeah, go for it.
But don't forget it. Okay, so guys.
I don't know if I can tell it actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh.
It's not bad. I just mean like.
Well, you signed an NDA the second you walked into the house for Thanksgiving, so.
Oh, no. It's not about them. It was about running.
Oh. Okay. And you can't tell it why?
Because I don't really know the person all that well. But
it's not about you. Yeah, we're trying, after the last few episodes, we've decided to cool it on the doxing a little bit. So Phoebe might not tell that one. But anyway, so Mom, of course, she has this like knack for finding the most bizarre but like fun activity or event and getting everybody on board. Mostly because it's like gun to your head. You have to, you don't have a choice. So she's like, we're going to do.
Thanksgiving, it's this. And at Christmas, it's that her 20-year-old daughters are all going to go sit on Santa's lap on Christmas Eve.
Then we're all going to wear matching PJs. And we're going to read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, popcorn read. And Caroline's going to like try really hard not to get annoyed that her sisters aren't as good at reading as she is. But anyway, Caroline's like, please, can I have the longer page?
Caroline's figured out what order we need to sit in so that she gets the pages that she wants.
Okay, and then Phoebe, you said here. You said right here. Okay, and we'll start the book here. Perfect. And then I just wait. Anyway, this parade, it's a golf cart parade, but it's also a contest. You decorate the golf cart. Now, there are two sections of this. There are the renters, the people who just rent a golf cart for that day, and there are the people who own their golf cart and they have it year round. So if you are a renter, which we are, you get your golf cart 1 hour before the judging starts, and you have exactly 1 hour to build whatever, decorate your golf cart, however. But the people who own their golf carts have an entire year. Like, they will have like animatronic shit on there. Like, it is no longer a joke. It used to be like, oh, haha, of course we won because we put a little bit of elbow grease into it. Now it's like, no, you have to have like a fully fleshed out plan, because if you don't, you'll be the only one who shows up unprepared. So we go and we win, and the prize, guys, was like so good. So anyway, we decorate the golf cart. It's Dad's running it like he's back in the Marine Corps. We're all in costume because you can't just like have the golf cart decorated. We also have to be decorated. And then it's
like 8 in the morning on Thanksgiving Day.
Yes, 8 in the morning. If you thought you were going to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, forget it. I've never seen it. So then we drive the golf cart, we get judged, and then we do a parade around the resort where we throw candy, and it's almost like a Halloween parade, or people like kids run in the street. So don't hit them with your golf cart because it's actually scary.
But it's
Anyway.
also like another qualm, and I forget what costume I was in where this was such an issue, but like if you're like only 2 people can sit in the golf cart, but we have costumes for however many of us there are, so
We have costumes for
behind-
everybody, including people who are standing on the sides and watching.
we're running around, like we're having to keep up with the pace of the golf carts. And
Which is, I mean, about 5 miles an hour.
no, but you have to understand like
But you have to understand
the-
what Phoebe's wearing.
you have to understand that I'm in like an inflatable Christmas tree costume.
Yes.
Trying not to like pelt kids with candy, but also trying to keep up with and I can't see. And I can't see.
And they're like, and that's not important because you're not driving. You don't have to see. That's what
and when
mom
I was
basically says.
Barbie was also a tough one.
Mom
because
also
I was
doesn't care if the
also-
person who's driving can see, by the way.
Yeah, which the second year we did the parade, we had a gingerbread man on top
Oh
of
my
it.
God.
And
I
we
got it
caught
lodged in a tree because that's the thing is we're building these structures and dad like has blueprints made and we're building these structures and putting them on top of the golf cart. And as I'm driving and pulling into like this residential, like there are trees with branches that hang kind of not that low, but we have a 6-foot structure on top of the golf cart. So like, you know, you wouldn't
top
fit
of
in
the
most
golf cart.
parking garages. Yeah, exactly. And so I'm trying to reverse after the judging, which we won. I'm trying to reverse so that we can go do the parade and like we are fully lodged in the car and I can just feel I'm like, well, I'm sorry, the actual structure on top of the golf cart is more important than the golf cart or anyone's safety inside the golf cart. So we got to figure this out. And if mom catches wind of this, that this structure might be torn down, Thanksgiving will be canceled. So we have to problem solve fast, and we did. But that one was extra tough. But you know what? We never really slowed down on the putting massive structures on top of the golf cart after that. They were like,
what's your
"Goose,
favorite
it's
year, do
fine."
you think? What's your favorite theme we've done?
I still think my favorite is when we did Santa. We did a Santa
was
Claus,
really good.
and we couldn't figure out how we wanted to do the beard. Like if we wanted, because I think we had done Frosty the Snowman the year before, and we had used
and we
like that
used, like,
cotton
cotton.
snow kind of thing, and it looked okay. Like I mean, the snowman looked great. The top hat was more the like spectacle for that, but it didn't have the wow factor. So I was like, what if for Santa we used white balloons and we used that for the beard and like
It looked
put
really
them
good.
on this, and it looked so neat. And we had these like glasses with like the twinkle in his eye, and then what did we have? A big hat on
Yeah, we had
top.
a big hat on top. Which I
What
think
did you
that
dress
this
up
year's
as?
theme, I was a snowflake.
Oh, me too. I think Lily and
So
Emmeline
many.
had good costumes. They were
There were
gigantic like
presents.
boxes, like presents that were wrapped, and then they were like
That
stuffed
was
in
the
there
year
somehow.
Connor came to Thanksgiving.
Yes, my
And
roommate
Connor
at the time
he
came.
was like 7 feet tall and he was
Yeah,
a snowman.
an inflatable snowman. Wait, what was the year you were the abominable snowman and you had to wear like a
That was when we
full
did
mascot
the-
outfit?
yeah,
By the way,
truly.
it's South Carolina. It's Charleston. It's not
It's
cold
hot.
for Thanksgiving. Like that's the other thing. It's people are like going to the beach a little bit.
This
It's cold in
year-
the water,
this
but you know.
This year they did like the year that I was the abominable snowman. I didn't have to walk in the parade because it was like unseasonably
She would've
hot.
passed
It was
out.
it was like 80 degrees rather than like a cool 70.
Yeah.
And but like I was the talk of the town that year. I took so many pictures with also when I was the Grinch.
Phoebe's
the Grinch.
always asked to also when you were the Barbie last year.
The Grinch.
And I
couldn't
have
see
no doubt
through
you will be
either.
asked this year as well.
Kelly,
have
I'm
actually
coming-
no
I'm coming-
doubt.
I'm coming for Kelly and Matthew's crown here.
You might be. You
My
might, and
costume's
I just want you to
coming
know you
today.
should stand by. You should definitely stand by because who knows if they'll be happy.
But that year when I was the abominable snowman, we did the Island of the Misfit Toys.
Oh yeah, that one. But I don't feel like we won for that one. Or we always like
I think
place.
I think
Except
we did win
for
but
one year.
I didn't love that theme, but that was this was one of our best golf carts, which is
This
why it was such a shame.
Well,
And
yeah,
actually,
so
the reason we didn't win is proof that it
Yes.
was our best golf.
that it
cart.
was so good. So it's really like such a shame. And you can imagine us trying to figure out like, but how do we explain this to the
'Cause-
judges?
'cause
Like they have to know
oftentimes-
something went wrong here.
Oftentimes we get the results, or we get there before our the general and the corporal are are at the parade. So we're managing this, and we get wind that results have been released, and we are like
And we haven't
before we
heard.
see our parents, we're like trying to figure out how we're gonna
We're like, where are the judges? Let's call them over here. They must have missed us.
like,
they must have missed. They must have. Who do they talk to? Phoebe? Is it down your pants? Where's the prize? I know you know where it is. Like, who's hiding something? Like, we're freaking out because if mom comes here and she asks, have the results been announced? And we say yes. And I mean, oh my God, I can't imagine. So anyway, guys, what we did this year was.
Imagine though.
We can. You know the like classic Christmas thing? It's like a red pickup truck with a tree in the back. Yeah. So we turned the golf cart into a red pickup truck. We like painted pieces of cardboard.
Functional doors.
Functional doors that our dad like spent hours making and creating and painting and cutting. You could not see the golf cart. And then we put a tree in the back of the golf cart. So it looked like, and like we drew Merry Christmas. I mean, it looked so good. We'll post pictures of all of these. I was dressed in a full Christmas tree outfit. That was the year that like Nana and Gaga came, which was really special. And
this is the year I was the inflatable tree.
Okay. Yeah. And so we don't place. And we're like, that's actually not possible because we're looking around. Like there's always this one family who like maybe owns a balloon store or something. They always have like some kind of crazy balloon thing, but we think they're owners. Honest, so we're like,
if we're being honest, they don't ever.
It's not inventive use of balloons.
They go for this spectacle and it's never super cleanly executed. We want like ours to be a spectacle and look good.
And when you got up close, you're like, wow. And the attention to detail is there.
It's going to be a gumball machine and like we'll have a big thing filled with balloons, but then like the actual golf cart doesn't look like anything.
But then the gumball machine doesn't work. So it's like, what's the point? Because if we had done that, I bet you can bet your bottom dollar it would have worked.
Dad would have figured out how to make it work. So and one of us would have been a quarter.
And one of us would have been dressed as a full-on quarter. So we don't win. Mom gets there. She's like, what? And immediately, this is my fault because I was driving the golf cart. So I must have driven it into the wrong lane because there's the owners versus the renters. And I was like, no, Mom, I double checked. They just thought
to multiple people and was like,
because I knew this could happen. I was scared.
We're in the renters line. And they like,
they were like, yes, it wasn't clear.
This operation kind of outgrew itself really quickly, but they maintained having not to shade teenagers working at a beach resort. The
organization hasn't grown with it.
They don't understand that now there are people that have been doing this for going on 10 years.
Now there are people that treat this like an Olympic sport. And
they're going to have to start treating it that way too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need some stronger hands on deck here. We need some people who like some drill sergeants maybe. Could we get the people from Special Forces to come work can we get the Citadel Military College of South Carolina? Like let's give them something to do on Thanksgiving. But it's also like, I don't know. I just think they don't understand. For some of us, it's not just like a fun event or a parade. It's like the event of the year. And it is also the event of the day. Like for some people, this is just their morning. And then they're going to go have a big meal. It's like we're going to have a meal, but that's kind of secondary to the parade. I said not kind of. It is 100% secondary to the parade. And ultimately, like the vibes on Thanksgiving are set by this too. Everyone's crying in the morning pretty much because it's just like, it's what you do.
It's giving like getting ready for a high school dance and you're like,
and you're crying while curling your hair.
Your mom's like helping you do your hair and she's like, Fee, and what if we just, and Fee.
It's like,
she's just
stop
like,
it.
And it's like, and I'm like, enough.
Yes. It's just too, you have sensory overload. Last year we did, so that year we didn't win. So now every year mom's like, and make sure you are in the right lane. So Phoebe's driving this year. So that's her problem. Love that. Last year we did Barbie and that one was one of my all-time faves because I got to wear hot pink faux fur coat and you got to wear Phoebe was like literally dressed as a Barbie in a box and people were coming and taking photos with her, and the company I work for made
people were like oh my god
is that Margot Robbie?
Is that Alex Earl?
Right, because that was before Alex Earl dressed up as a Phoebe. Of course, they would say Margot. They said Margot Robbie because you look exactly like her. That's what they were saying. Okay.
People have always said I'm a cross between Margot Robbie and Alex Earl.
And Scarlett Johansson and Alex Earl,
well, yes.
the three blonde bombshells of our time.
I can't tell that story. I was about to tell that story, but I can't.
Well,
I'll tell part of the story. So there's this joke that and I won't get into why.
And why is it a joke? Yeah.
But for some of my friends and I joke that I look like Scarlett Johansson. I'm not delusional.
Full of yourself much?
I know that I don't. It's become a joke.
She's just in love with Colin Jost. She wants a shot.
Maybe that's a story for the Patreon one time, and Patreon people can know why. Maybe
the Patreon people think we're girls, and that's why. That's why I can go there.
So my sophomore year of college, I was an RA, and I was on an RA staff with 3 people, but we were like, I was really on a staff with like almost 20 people, it felt like. And so my best friends from freshman year send into this this confession Twitter for our school. They say, "Oh my God, why does my second floor in this building RA look just like Scarlett Johansson?"
Like the sweating emoji.
By the way, everybody at this school follows this account, and like now
hoping
they're like, oh
they'll
my
be
God.
mentioned, and now someone was.
Everybody's like, oh my God, who is the second floor RA in this building? And I'm like, this is mortifying. And also, it's all
like,
these people that I don't know that it's me. And
All these people that you don't know coming up to you like, wait a minute. Can I get a picture? They're like, okay, the only other time I've heard someone say that this second floor RA looks like Scarlett Johansson is when the second floor RA told us that like she and her mom used to say that she looks like her. Oh wait, no, sorry. Mom didn't say that. Wait, Mom did say that. But Mom said something else. And that's on the Patreon. That's so funny. Every girl's dream is to be mentioned on one of those accounts.
Oh my God, mortifying. For people
Remember Yik Yak?
Like, we didn't have it.
Oh
it
my
did
God.
come back when I left college.
It was created. Why do I feel like it was created at College of Charleston? I think it was.
Maybe.
I think it was created at the College of Charleston.
It was a place that garnered terrorism, probably.
Why are we like so addicted to like troubling behavior as a people? Like, why do we just
so
like
mean.
want more
we
ways
are
for
mean
people
all the
to like
time, but-
anonymously? Yeah, don't say we're not mean, because our listeners will say, well, lovingly, yes, you are, and it's okay. Anyway, I work for the company that manufactures the pink paint from the Barbie movie. So we got the real pink paint, and it was like this fluorescent that when you put it in sunlight, it was like crazy. Like the pictures don't even do it justice. It was so eye-catching, so great. Dad did like the sideways, like vintage silhouette of Barbie
Mattel
with the
logo.
ponytail. Yeah, it was just so great. But yeah, the Grinch year, Phoebe dressed in a full Grinch costume,
And some kids were
terrified.
scared.
Which you would have been one of those kids, I feel like.
I don't know, but there was one kid. No, this was when I was the snowman. There was one kid who like just kept coming up to me and hugging me, like was obsessed.
That's so cute.
And then some
Not
kids,
the same reaction as the Grinch.
No, but some kid. Actually, there was one parent who was like, "Go get a picture. Go get a picture with the Grinch." And the daughter is like sobbing, and she's standing 3 feet away from me, and I'm like posing. And
You're like, come here, little girl.
And I did get the fingers perfect. I got the fingers perfect, and I think that's what threw some of the kids off.
That's like the major takeaway. They're like, wait, are you real? Are you an animatronic? Are you real? Are you actually the Grinch? Are you a person? And then Phoebe took the costume off, and they were like, that's worse. That's so much worse. Put it back on.
It's like when Glinda takes off Alphaba's glasses, and then she goes, and we're just going to put those right back there.
Oh my God, nothing better. Wear the throat. It's beautiful. The throat. I'm sorry, Ariana's inventive delivery of these age-old lines that we've heard done so many times.
New.
How brave of her. Also,
why do you
let's
think
acknowledge how brave.
Why do you? Because at first, when people were saying they took out the rhetorical line, I was like, yeah, they did take that out. But I remembered her doing it.
What
and
rhetorical
she
line?
didn't do it when she says no need to answer. That was rhetorical.
That was rhetorical.
But
why do I have to do it in a Glinda voice? Why do I have to do it in a Glinda voice?
Muscle memory.
That was rhetorical. Maybe it's deleted scenes.
I need the director's cut stat.
I do too, but I think we're getting it. I listened to the Ariana Lost Culture. I've been through. I listened to the Ariana Lost Culture last night again because I was like, after seeing Wicked, hits different.
I should do that.
Like when they say that Michelle Yeoh should win an Oscar just for turning around and walking, like that. I mean, because I
Someone
100%
on Twitter was
agree.
like, they should invent an Oscar that's just for turning around and walking away,
Yes.
and only ever give it to Michelle Yeoh.
Yes.
I was just texting Bobby about Wicked because he saw it, and
Did he
I was
love?
like,
How can you not? Stupid question.
and well, he texted me. He was like, "Did you see Wicked?" Because I sent him a tweet about Wicked, and he said, "Have you seen it yet?" And I said,
Stupider question.
And I have
Have
plans
I
to
seen
see
it
two more
yet?
times this week. So,
I'm seeing it tonight. That's the only reason I got out of bed today.
And I was like, Oscars to all of them, and also Nobel Peace Prizes, because I haven't.
Amen.
Are we living in a united country just for like this weekend?
Phoebe, I know. I thought the exact same thing. Like,
we needed
and
this.
if only this had come before the election.
Well, no, I honestly think
just kidding,
if that was going to be the outcome, then we needed it. Then we needed
honestly,
this now.
Here's what I'll tell you. Like, Kelly and I saw it, and truly, first of all, it's a 3-hour, and we talk about it. I mean, that's all we talk about, and the Patreon app from Friday, which, by the way,
it was so hard to find a rotation this week because my entire
timeline no bad thoughts.
Just Wicked. It's
you have no bad thoughts because you saw Wicked. Now you live in a world with Wicked the movie, and you have no bad thoughts anymore.
Exactly.
Guys, I've realized that I really only plug the Patreon at the end of the episode, and some of you might drop off. So I'm going to do it right here, actually. If you're not part of the Patreon, first of all, you can join for free. And there, like, sometimes we'll post little, like, voice notes and stuff. So it's definitely worth just, like, joining as a free member anyway. And then you'll get notified when we release episodes. So if you ever wanted to join for one of them, like, you'll see it. Because sometimes, admittedly, I'm not good about posting about Patreon as much.
And they're all for sale for $5.
Yes.
You can just buy individual episodes. Yep.
Except one, and we won't talk about that. But if you...
All the ones that you should listen to are $5.
Yes. And
unless
you can
you're real.
purchase any of them.
It.
And a lot of them are watchers too. Like, you can listen and you can watch. So those of you who are like, I wish I had video episodes, that's a great place to go.
I mean, recently they've all been videos, except for I guess last week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks
and
ago.
We do, so like the first Friday, well, we do 3 a month. So whichever our first episode is usually like a topical thing. So this week we did Wicked. Last week we did in depth, like every thought about Wicked after our first viewings. And then this week we're going to do a podcast. And then next week.
No, this week is.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Last week was our podcast. I'm sorry. That was the Wicked one. And then this week we're doing the Martha documentary. We usually do a pilot as our last episode of the month, but we're doing the Martha documentary. So you can tune in for that. That's for the 3rd tier. And then we also have another episode from the beginning of the month, which was our Grammys. So good month of episodes, but you can purchase any of them.
We're just a little more uncensored, a little goofier.
Yeah, we're definitely goofier, and we talk more at liberty. But I just realized that some of you, I've gotten some comments recently that are like, I want you guys to go on Patreon. And I'm like, oh my God, we are on Patreon. How do you not know that? So now you know. But yeah. Anyway, back to what we were talking about, which was Wicked, of course. I cannot wait to see it again. Phoebe, how was your second time? It's finally the most wonderful time of year. Phoebe, do you have any goals for the upcoming holiday season?
Other than being on the nice list for the 24th year in a row, I'm hoping to perfect my Spanish accent with Rosetta Stone.
Love that. My husband's family is Italian, so I'd love to be able to practice my conversation skills over the holidays. Maybe I'll also learn the top secret family gnocchi recipe.
Yeah, maybe. Rosetta Stone is the most trusted language learning program that truly immerses you in the language you want to learn. And it has been a trusted expert for 30 years with millions of users and 25 languages offered.
I love how quickly I'm learning with Rosetta Stone. There are no English translations, so you really learn to speak, listen, and think in that language. And it's a super intuitive process designed for long-term retention.
For me, the convenience is the most important part. That and its amazing value. Rosetta Stone offers a lifetime membership for all 25 languages, so don't put off learning that language.
There's no better time than right now to get started. For a short time, the Pretty Little Podcast listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership holiday special.
This offer will not last long. Visit rosettastone.com/today.
That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your holiday offer at rosettastone.com/today today for yourself or as a gift that keeps on giving. Phoebe, is there anything worse than the week before your period? The sleeplessness, breakouts, the cravings, and the blah, blah, blah. PMS is the worst. Luckily, now it's easier to manage with Estro Control.
Estro Control is a formula developed by Happy Mammoth, and the way it eases PMS is pretty interesting. The ingredients help support the liver, which is where our hormones get processed, especially estrogen. When that estrogen isn't processed well in the liver, women may start having PMS, blemishes, cravings, you know the drill.
Estro Control was created to help women feel like themselves all throughout the month. PMS isn't robbing me of a week of my life every month anymore. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code Pretty Little Podcast at checkout.
Again, that's happymammoth.com and use the code Pretty Little Podcast for 15% off today. It was so good. And I got hot popcorn this time. Those who are on
Thank
the Patreon
God.
know. But I went. Okay, let me just tell you about my Saturday.
Okay,
I went
tell
to
me.
get a light in my car fixed on Saturday,
Okay, work.
and I'm sitting there. I know, so
Okay,
on
adult
it.
as fuck.
And I made an appointment and everything. Can you believe it?
Holy
I show up.
shit.
I show up, and he goes, "You're just here to get your license plate light replaced?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's it."
You're
That's
like,
all I need."
I'm breaking the law, of course. Of course I'm here.
And
isn't this normal?
so they like I'm sitting there, I'm reading. At first, I didn't think the guy liked me, but by the end of the story, you'll know
He might not
he
have.
did.
Oh.
And he's
Oh,
so he
of
comes
course.
back in. They're working on my car. They come back in, and he's like, "Did you like get pulled over? Like, why did you come in to get your license plate light fixed?" And I was
Why
like,
is he mad at you?
I got a notification. Like the car like told me that it was out.
Yeah.
It's been telling me for a little bit. And he goes, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm looking at it right now. It's on. But he was like, but one of your blinkers is going to go out soon. So we'll just replace that. And I was like, okay, sounds good to me. You do whatever you think needs to be done.
Take your word for it.
And so he comes back out with my little bulb. He gave it back to me. Don't know why he gave it back, but it's in the trash now. And he
But I got rid of that real quick.
and he gave it to me and he said, "Have a nice day." And I was like, "How much was it?" And he said, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Oh my
And
God.
And I was wearing my Steelers hat, and he goes, "And I'm really sorry about your Steelers." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh my God,
you're
he's in
charmed
love
by
with
me.
you.
Okay, you're charmed by me, sweet old
Okay,
man
he
behind
listens to the
counter.
podcast and he's in love with you. Oh my God. What was his
And
name?
I don't know. Keith.
Did you just make that up? Pull it out of thin air?
No,
Because
no,
you pretty
no,
confidently
no.
said, I don't know.
No, it was Keith. But he, like, how nice was that? That would have been like $60 probably.
I don't think
But-
so, but that is so nice.
But then I did get in the car yesterday, and the notification came back. So I might be
I
seeing Keith
think-
again soon. Maybe the
I
car
mean-
is just playing a joke on me.
Are you going to bring the car home for Christmas?
Yeah.
Seems like something mom and dad can figure out.
No, I'll get it figured out. But
Well, I mean,
I don't want to get pulled
They
over.
probably
for
would
it.
like to. They probably
He
like to
literally,
figure it out.
he was like, when he asked me why I came, he was like, I mean, we very rarely get people that come in here to get this fixed without having been pulled over and like being told by a police officer they have to get it fixed.
He's like, and I'm kind of like turned on by how much of a rule follower you are.
Stop. He was like a sweet old man. I can't with this.
I don't know. I'm just going based off what you told me,
Anyway.
Fee, and the vibes are clear to me.
So then I filled up my tank with gas. I went to go get a Starbucks, and then I drove
Ow.
to the AMC, and with my free movie ticket, I was
Nice.
30 minutes early to my showing. Like
Oh,
I
we
used
we
on
all
the
know.
story.
We all know because you posted.
Couldn't get there soon enough, and I walk.
I
in
like
and
that.
it's
That's really
busy.
one of those stories that it's like, who posted it? No clue. The only way you'll know is the font, maybe. Which I don't even really like the font that I use, but it's just like the one I use now. So
It's like a little puzzle for everybody.
not really. It's pretty clear.
It's like overridden with all these kids, and at first I'm like, okay, great.
At least they don't know the
Okay,
words.
Great. And no, but it ended up being really like sweet and made the movie even like it made me think of you and Caitlin. Like when like I actually I honestly started tearing up thinking about you two going to see it together this week.
I'm so
It,
excited
like,
to see it with her.
It just because without that, you guys wouldn't have this thing that y'all love
And
so
like
much.
she gave that to me. Like I didn't see Wicked until like high school. Like
It's so awesome.
but I just knew about it because I think she had seen it, and like she knew all the words. I didn't know any of like she taught me how to sing the songs, like, you know, so it's really like special. And we used to put on shows of it all the time and I can remember it, and it was so, I mean, we had such a fun little childhood together. Like it really, I don't know if I was gonna say it in my maid of honor speech. I don't know if I did, but it's like
I think
when
you
I look
did.
at- when I look, well,
wait,
no,
maybe
not
not.
that part, but I was just like, when I look at my childhood, like my happy memories really with friends are with Caitlin. Like
Aw.
that's who they're with. And so like, I'm thankful to her for like the really beautiful friendship parts of my childhood because, she's really it. So it's like really special that we still get to be in each other's lives and that we're going to go get to see this, and that it's such a celebration of something that like we've been celebrating forever. And like, it's just, what you said about us being a united country, it's a world. It's just so true. Like I saw something today that was like, I love how Ariana just shut everyone the fuck up the best way she knew how, by just being so good. No one has anything to say. Like, what can you say? What can you say? You know,
I mean, I can't think of anything bad to say about her performance, literally at all. But there was this
so
row
good
of like probably 10 like elementary school girls behind me, and at the end of the movie, none of them moved, and one of them just goes, "That was so good."
Oh,
and I was like, they're gonna be obsessed with this forever.
Yes, it's gonna be yes, and that's so special. I was even just thinking, I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I'll get to like watch it on streaming, like. You know, and I just think for so many people, like I've said this before, and I'll say it again, but for so many people, Wicked is like their Hamilton, like, you know, for the millennials, but for Gen Z, like Hamilton came out and it changed the way people thought about musical theater. And like maybe this was a way that they could enter the musical theater world. And, you know, now here they are. That was what Wicked was for us. And it's so special to see that like it really is that good. Like it's still doing that. And it's also so neat to see people who love Wizard of Oz watching it and they're like, holy shit, you know, whatever. But I was talking to my friend whose brother-in-law saw it, and he the whole time is like, she said he gets out of the movie, he's like, they got it completely wrong. Like Elphaba and Glinda are sisters, and they say that in the Wizard of Oz. And I was like, what? Like when she told me this,
it's like that Vine, you know, you remember that classic, or maybe it wasn't a Vine, but that meme of those two guys that are arguing about the witch. It's Ariana just recreated it with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
but you know
Fallon.
that video?
I do, yes. It was, but I was just like, they're not though sisters, because if they were sisters, the whole show couldn't happen. Same thing with that guy thinking that Nessa should have been cut. The critic thinking Nessa, and has he come back and added anything to this?
To look into that.
We need to see, because him saying that we should have gotten rid of Nessa because she had a very little to do, and it's like, actually this entire story is about Nessa, and it doesn't happen without Nessa, and you're really gonna fucking see. But it's so funny to think that, like, I don't know, but anyway, if Nessa was Glinda's sister, then because she is Elphaba's sister, then Glinda wouldn't be like, no, Dorothy, you can have the ruby red slippers, you know, like.
Exactly. And I sent you a thread about this today, because I was like, why wouldn't they make the slippers red in the movie?
Because they're not
silver. And
it's the color, right, in the movies.
It's the color from the book. The silver
no, but why they made them red for the movie? Because red showed up better.
Yeah, because they wanted to show off. Yeah, they wanted to show it because it was like one of the first colored movies, so they wanted to show it off. But the reason they're not red in this movie is because MGM still owns the copyright for anything that they changed. Because like the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, the book, is public domain now. So anything that's original to the book is public domain, but anything they changed for the movie, so like changing the color of the slippers,
I did not know that,
is MGM's property.
Wait,
so that's why they're silver. It's also originally what they were, but
then also question, because we get that little still of Dorothy in the beginning and she's wearing red shoes.
Is she? And all the clips from the new from part 2, she's in the silver shoes.
It's the one, it's just them, it's the little them from the back walking down the road.
I didn't notice.
You know what I'm talking about? I think she's,
I know what you're talking about.
See it again tonight. Maybe she doesn't.
She's in.
I heard, listening back to Lost Cult, one of the moments too that I loved hearing Ariana talk about after seeing it was her talking about her take on Defying Gravity.
Yes,
and
I actually am going to talk about that in my rotation.
Okay, cool. But I love that she said, Matt, actually, I'm like, oh my God, Matt, foot in your mouth vibes. Because Matt's like, and Glinda's just like not strong enough to do what Elfie's doing. And she was like, well, yeah. But maybe also it's that she's just strong enough to know that like she's just not going to do that. Like, and she's strong enough to know that like who she is and everything. She doesn't have the tools to go do what Elfie's doing, and she's also just not someone who's going to do that. And so it's sort of this like, I know you have to do that, and I'm strong enough to know that I gotta stay here and I am gonna do this and I love you and I have to say goodbye to you. But we both know what we're doing is right for us and there's a strength in that. And I just like, it's the way she's thought about Glinda and the way, like, because they always say, you know, if you're playing a villain, villains don't know they're villains, whatever. And I don't think Glinda's a villain, but I think a lot of people can see her that way. And
that's what I'm going to talk about. Yeah.
I think it's amazing that like, you can just tell that Ariana's done so much work and like seeing Glinda as a person and being Glinda and existing as Glinda. And when you do that and you add that humanity to the character, like it really makes a fucking difference. And in her performance, it is just laden with this humanity that I don't think we get as much in the stage version, either because we're not close enough to see it or because that's just not the take on Glinda, you know, but
I mean, we get so much more insight into all the characters because it's not on a stage.
Yes.
Because we can see these.
It's like he did what a movie musical should do. And it's like, I'm not going to change this. I'm not going to
add
take
depth
this.
to it.
I'm just going to give you more of what you want. You know, like I'm going to bring you into this world more than you were already brought into it in ways that we need. Okay. Anything else for Wicked right now? I know you're going to talk about it in your rotation, but we can go to some other stuff. Phoebe, I had an insane experience with road rage yesterday. Not me. I didn't have road rage. You didn't hear about it. You just saw my tweet.
I saw what you said.
You saw my tweet. So guys, I went to brunch with my friends. Amazing brunch, by the way. And I'm driving back and I'm going, sorry, cops, a little bit over the speed limit because everybody goes over the speed limit on this like highway I'm on. Okay. I'm headed back, Phoebe. I don't know what the fucking number is, but I'm coming from Lawrenceville to the South Hills. So I'm going towards the Fort Pitt Tunnel. And I'm
towards the Fort Pitt. Oh, from downtown though.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm on this stretch, whatever, and this car is like flying, like weaving through behind, like switching lanes, whatever.
I hate that.
And I'm in the left lane. Okay. So I'm going faster than like a lot of traffic, not a lot of traffic, but like the right lane. But the guy on the right lane isn't going like that much more ahead of me, and there's only 2 lanes. So this car gets behind me and can't move.
Sometimes
and
I love that. When you see
I
how
loved
fast
it for a
they're going,
second till I got genuinely scared for my life.
Ooh.
It was actually crazy, Phoebe. So I'm just driving and I notice this car is like on my ass. I mean, they are like, I can't see their headlights. They are on my ass and they can't get around me. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to go faster than I'm going because 1, I can't really. And 2, like, you're pissing me off. Like, I don't want to go faster now. So I'm already going like over the speed limit. You should be fine. So finally I'm starting to get like freaked out because they're like getting closer. And I was like, are they going to try to run me off there? And I can't get over. So it's like, they just want me to go faster. And I go back I look in my rearview mirror and I just throw my hand up like I'm walking it like that. That's all I did. I didn't flick them off. I didn't do anything. I just was like, what? Like, get off my back. They lean over the steering wheel and put both middle fingers up across the steering wheel and start shaking them out at their window, like as hard as they can while driving.
Is it just
and
one person in the car?
I think so. Just one person. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's an insane reaction to me. Just being like, get off. Like, they know what they're doing is what that tells me. Like, they know they're like, they're doing it to be rude. And then the fact that they were like, double down. I was like, this is crazy. So whatever. They get around me and they go right next to me and they don't go any faster than me. Middle finger out.
So at this point, it's not like they're like driving really fast. They need to get to a hospital or something. They're just an asshole.
Middle finger at the window to me, shaking it so that like I'll see it. And I'm just like not looking at them, but I have to get over. So I'm like, fuck, like I need to get over. And this car is right here. And like, I'm just going to miss my exit because I am like scared. And so like I finally like, I hadn't looked at all and I like finally turn and they're like, fuck, like screaming at the window. Yes. And so I speed up like crazy and I get like 3 cars ahead of them. Okay. Still driving. They come up again next to me. Again, middle fingers out the window. I'm like, you're now following my car. I finally lose them in the tunnel. That's when I got rid of them. They drove behind me for like, I want to say a couple miles behind me or next to me with their middle fingers to me, screaming at me. And I like didn't do anything to them. And I was like genuinely like, okay, this is like, I wanted to like be a total bitch, but I was like, what if they have a gun? Like, I don't know, you know? And so I was just like so scared. I just like wouldn't even look at them. I was like, please stop. And I don't even know how they were driving, honestly. They were like staring at me. It was like they were so angry. And I'm telling you, I did not do anything. And even if I was being an asshole, that's not really like equivalent to like what I would have done. I thought it was really scary. I was scared they were gonna follow me home and like hurt me. And I know that I'm like genuinely more scared than most people, like as a
Guys,
rule.
when we tell you guys to be road warriors, this is not what
That's
we mean.
not what we mean. What we mean is what I did, which is mind your own freaking business. Literally,
Hey.
don't fight fire with fire.
Eyes on your own paper.
Eyes on your own paper, dude. I am 12 and 2, hands on the wheel. What is it? 7 and 2? 10 and 2, hands on the wheel. White knuckles.
Caroline just
sitting on a phone book.
Caroline sitting on a phone book. Caroline just admitted to us that she's never seen an analog clock.
Okay, fine. I just admitted that.
She was 12 and 2, 7 and 2. Picture a clock for a second.
I mean, now that I'm doing that, I see what you mean. I totally see what you mean now. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that incident of road rage. Like, is that not kind of scary?
It is scary.
I actually was like, I wish I had gotten behind them because I would have called the cops. Just kidding. But I was like, what is your... It was also like the grossest car on earth. Like, it was like... So the windows were so cloudy. So like it was like the only way I could see the middle finger was if it was rolled down or if they were like shoving it against the window. And I just was like, this is how bad you want me to pay attention to the fact that you're flicking me off and you've been doing it for 10 straight minutes. Like, this is crazy. Go where you were going. You obviously are in a hurry. Anyway, I just want to talk about that. Don't be that person. Like, that's fucking crazy. And if that is you, don't engage, okay? Because people are crazy. That's what Mom always told us. She's like, you do not know what they have in the car.
What is going on?
My phone's broken.
Why? How?
It got knocked out of my hand. I won't say how. And now there's just this little bar at the bottom of my screen that is green. Well, right now it's black.
Okay, Brat.
But it has been green. So now this is like flashing and like I can still press stuff under here, but I can't see it. And I was like, God, I need to get a new phone, but this phone is so close to being paid off. I was just like, oh,
you're
so close.
Lucky you don't play Minecraft.
I know. Tell me about it. But I do work in social media, so it is causing an issue for me, and I am going to probably need to get a new phone. There's like this green bar, and I show, I'm like so pissed. And I show Anthony, and he goes, Wicked. My head almost flew off my body.
Wicked promo went crazy.
Wicked.
They did the same thing that U2 did when they put their album on everybody's phones.
Wicked turns everyone's phone. You get a pink bar or a green bar. The Sorting Hat chooses you. And I was like, wait, I always thought I was like Glinda. What does this mean? Anyway, I just thought that was funny. What, do you have anything else in the note? I have a bunch of stuff, but I feel like I've talked a lot. So Jelly Roll versus Charlie. Oh, did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
What do you think?
Jelly Roll, stay out of it. I just feel like it's not worth the argument. I'm really tired of the chart conversations, if I'm being honest. Yeah. It's all a game.
It's ugly. It's ugly for Jelly Roll to do, but it's like, I wish I didn't know that about Charlie. Can you explain it? Because people might not know what we're talking about.
Didn't Charlie it's been a while since I read the article about it because it happened like a month ago, right?
I don't think it was
Charlie,
that long ago.
Like Jelly Roll was meant to be number 1 and like Thursday night. Basically, like labels will get sent like you can see the trajectory of all of your releases and like figure out where the charts are and where things look like they're going to land, and you can predict it pretty easily. Thursday night, I guess, Charlie's team like updated their number by like a bunch, and I think she edged Jelly Roll out by like 17,000 units. I feel like it was still pretty close, but it was like all of a sudden Thursday night before the deadline, like a bunch of activity on Charlie's end. I don't remember exactly what Jelly Roll accused her of buying that stuff.
Buying
right?
them.
Which I don't know. I mean, I think Jelly Roll shouldn't have said that publicly if that's what he thinks happened, especially if it's been confirmed. I just feel like that's kind of like trade secrets. I feel like it's like,
I agree. Because
it's also like,
what if you need to do that one day?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, do we really want to start talking about what all these people, because I'm sure what a bunch of people are doing, like when it's your thing that's not going number one, it's being blocked. There's probably a ton of stuff that seem
right.
like it's not super above board, but it is. It's just like, to me, if Charlie did that, I don't love it, because like, but I don't see her or her team doing that.
Yeah.
I don't see that. But I mean, maybe it did happen, and if it did, not my favorite thing. And here's really what I'll say about it. If that's true, I don't want to hear another Charlie stan or another person in the world complain about Taylor releasing multiple versions of the Torture Poets department. Everybody's gaming the system, so I just like, it's their job. It's their job to make their stuff go number one. So everybody just chill out. Jelly Roll, you'll go number one another time.
Maybe if you're good enough.
Well,
sorry, make better music.
In country music, he's doing fine.
I'm kidding. I just like, of course, don't listen to Jelly Roll.
Yeah, I don't really listen to him either.
I want to say something. I want to address the elephant in the room. Yes, I've been doing my makeup like I kind of used to. I'm doing winged eyeliner with liquid eyeliner again.
Wow.
Yeah. And here's what I want to say about it. I feel like part of it is giving 2016, but I also like feel like I'm really good at makeup. So sorry.
Well, I didn't notice. So
okay, cool. Well, I feel like I can kind of like do it in a more tasteful way. And I'm really not, I mean, I'm not doing like a cut crease. I'm not doing like the block brows anymore. I'm not doing like the cool tone contour, whatever. But here's what I want to say. All these videos that are like 2016 makeup versus 2024. 2016 makeup, 8. And these girls were in their bedrooms being full artists, okay? At like before the sun was up, okay? Full artistry.
Like
they were like
makeup,
baking, like the amount of product you can't imagine, the inventive ways we were using it. And we didn't want it to look like less. We wanted it to look like I'm really good at fucking makeup. And some people did really bad and some people did really good. And I, for one, flourished because I am, well versed in stage makeup and I like wearing stage makeup every day. But what I want to say is no more attitude. Those who can should, is what I think. So because I can beat my face, I will continue to do so. And I'm not going to feel like I need to adhere to this clean girl makeup unless I want to. Unless I want to have that look. Because you know what? I like being complimented on my makeup. I like people saying, I can tell she's wearing makeup and it looks good. I'm fine with that.
Fair enough.
And so I just want to say, if you too are missing the days of glamour and you'd like to bring them back, because I do think they're coming back, join me. I'm not doing 2016 makeup, but
she's really not.
That artist,
I don't want
really
you guys
not.
to be picturing what I think a lot of people would picture when you say 2016 makeup.
Well,
like she's got all neutral tones on. It's just the eyeliner.
No, it's literally just I'm wearing liquid winged eyeliner, which like I was doing powder eyeliner.
I don't think it ever went out of style.
Yeah, one time I heard Tyler Cameron say he doesn't like it, and I was like, well, okay, I have to stop. Because my future husband, Tyler Cameron.
I love Tyler Cameron, but he does give the energy of that guy who's like, I don't want my girl to wear makeup.
You're so beautiful without makeup.
When you're natural.
Yeah, in your sweatpants. But except for Hannah Godwin is sitting there, and she's like, well, do you like mine? He's like, well, no, I like that. She's like, yeah, this is a wing. And he's like, well, I mean, just mean like the big ones. And it's like,
which
okay,
also,
but
by the way, is not what Caroline's doing.
No, it's not. It's again, my application is strong, so it looks fine. But I'm just saying, like, I'm done with the clean, no makeup look. I think for a little bit, like I like glam, and those who can should. And I am working on my glam room right now, which I'm really excited. I told you about it, but I don't know if I talked about it here, but I'm going to bring you guys into the journey. Okay. Cause this is what's giving me like a will to live these days. My little office was a great office for a while and it's super cute, but then like we have 2 dogs. So someone needs to be downstairs with the dogs. So I was down there and not really using my office. And then we had some construction in our house. We moved the dog crates into the office, whatever. So it's just been like a heap of stuff in there and like my vanity, which is just like it doesn't have lights or anything like that. It's just like a vanity to put stuff on. And I have no storage or anything in there. So I decided I need to make this room something I can actually use and enjoy. And this will be my project over Thanksgiving. So I ordered, my dream. And if you're listening, Slay Station reps, my dream is to have a Slay Station. Have you ever heard of it?
Because of you.
That name is so cool, is it not?
You showed it to me. the other day.
My
Yeah, it
dream is that
cool.
we get a Slay Station partnership one day. Please, 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 please. And that's why I got this vanity, so I can start filming content to show you what you're missing out on Slay Station. I want one so bad. They're like $1,300. So like I will never own one unless they send me one. But I ordered a vanity that has mirror and cabinets and lights and drawers, and it's like my dream vanity. It's like not, well, the Slay Station is my dream, but this is close. And I started building it last night, and it's really hard to build. And I did build it a little bit backwards, and I was really proud of myself for like reading the directions really well. Like, cause normally I really struggle with that. Like I just want to jump. I'm like, I know how to do this.
Or when the pieces do look the same, but they're slightly different and you don't realize it until you've like built the structure.
And some of them have like numbers on them and some of them don't. And I'm like, so I'm like trying to look at these pictures. Also, there are typos in the book. So then I was like, it's the book's fault. And then I realized, no, this was user error. And we fixed it. And so that should happen. And then Phoebe knows this, but I got this green velvet like love seat on Facebook Marketplace that this like rich woman just had and had never used. She had just bought it like a week ago. It's gorgeous. Green velvet, comes with pillows. It has gold legs. And then I'm going to do a wall of iconic pop culture moments. So I sent Phoebe some options. I'm going to just frame to have around. And I'm really, really excited about it. I'm excited to be turning this room into something great. So maybe I'll let you all in on the journey this week. But if that's anyone else's dream, you understand how exciting this is for me. But I was up late building it. Like I was up till 3 a.m.
That's what I did when I got my my what's it called?
But I didn't finish
my
it
little
still.
my little buffet thing. Well, the thing about when I got my desk and when I got my buffet, those are the two things that I had to build so far for my apartment. I don't have a lot of you can shut the door to that room and like it can be unfinished for a little bit.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, true.
I could not do that.
It's been unfinished. Yeah. Okay, so someone sent in, what do they want us to yap about? Holding space. Want to watch Caroline defend this because they're theater kids. And here's what I want to say about the whole, and I have a feeling this is going to come up in Phoebe's nightmare rotation maybe.
Well, no, it's not, but she's a theater kid that she's not in queer media.
Well, no, I'm not in queer media.
I was making a joke about what the girl said in the video.
I know.
That's what she says.
I know she does. Here's what I'll say about it. If we're being honest, that did not raise any alarm flags for me. I watched that and I was like moving right along because that is what a lot of the conversations I'm in sound like because that is how theater kids talk. So they say things like, I'm holding space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity, and everyone's like, yes, thank you. And no one bats an eyelash.
My favorite part about it is that Cynthia and Ariana are acting like they wrote it together.
I know.
And the way
That's what I wanted.
Cynthia goes, and I just didn't know people were doing that. And then the interviewer goes, yeah, I've seen a couple posts.
Finds out it's only been a couple. But like, if I am really holding space, like what is your, Phoebe, what is your interpretation, your definition of holding space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity?
Not
Which
performing
lyrics
them.
are you holding space for?
Listening to them rather than just performing.
Rather than singing.
By the way,
Okay.
guys, you wouldn't believe the Tony Award winning performances that were going on in my Jeep Cherokee on the way from Nashville to Charleston yesterday.
I was hoping you were going to say in your home, in your shower. And I was like, okay, you're no longer allowed to complain about your upstairs neighbor.
Well, that too.
You're out of complaints. Sorry. Because I know she's like, and I've heard enough of Defying Gravity for the week, for the year even. Oh my God. I know I heard you're painting yourself green. You don't also need to sing it. Are you going to be singing at the golf cart?
Well, yeah.
Oh, wow. Would you give us a little sample?
Well, on Wednesday, we're setting up the harness system.
Oh my God. So are you using a pulley?
The route of the parade. So I'm going to be flying over our golf cart.
And will Lily be just like doing the pulley system? Like,
it'll be automatic.
But on what? How does it attach to? Is what I'm asking.
The trees run the perimeter of the route.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, this is going to take you all day.
Have you seen the videos of Cynthia when she's flying around?
I've seen, yes.
That's what we got.
You're okay. All right. Cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Okay, next up. Wicked nightmare and dream blunt rotations. That's actually funny. My dream rotation does feature some of the Wicked, but let's do like the characters. That's fun. if I were doing my dream Wicked character rotation, it would be Glinda, Elphaba, and Fanny.
That would be mine.
That's who I want to hang out with. My nightmare, Nessa. Wait, can I have 4? I want Fiyero in my dream, but I'd be too nervous. I would be way too nervous to even say anything because
if I'm feeling,
he had me kicking my feet, giggling.
If I'm feeling especially feisty and I just like want to be mean for a little bit,
Fanny.
It's gonna be Glinda, Fanny, and the other one,
Shin Shin.
And if it's like I just like want to be happy and content, Glinda, Fiyero, Elphaba. But I don't want to be involved in whatever those three, the challengers stuff that's going on over there.
I don't want to have like any serious convos, which like if Elphaba's there, it's going to get really deep really fast. So I think, but also it's like, I don't really want to be the third wheel. I don't want to be with Glinda. And honestly, you know what? If Fiero's in my dream rotation, Glinda can't be, and neither can Elphaba. Sorry. Because all eyes on me. So it's got to be Fiyero, Fanny, and Dillamond, Dulcie Bear.
Yes.
Yep. Fiyero, Fanny, Dulcie Bear. And then Nightmare, let's do, who did I say? Nessa. The Wizard. Well, but I mean, I know we love Jeff Goldblum, but like, what a drunk. Or Madame Morrible. I feel like she'd be a major buzzkill. Major
Morrible,
buzzkill.
Nessa.
Chistory, Flying Monkey.
No.
You wouldn't?
I wouldn't put the flying monkeys on there. It's not their fault.
Okay, but I'm just saying like it would be scary to me.
Well, yeah.
I'm not calling them nightmares. I'm just saying like they are, like they do scare me kind of.
I guess them, yeah.
Or Elphaba's dad.
Or the drama girl. The drama girl who wants to come up and
were you her friend? Is it true you were her friend?
And when she repeats herself and she has to do it again.
I know. Glinda's like,
Dream. We can't do children, but that little girl in the beginning is so cute. The girl who like does this or
little baby Nessa. Little baby Nessa is the cutest thing you've ever seen. But also little baby Elphaba is so cute. But yeah, we would never put them on a rotation. But
the glasses that they, the fact that they say, but on the little girl, they're so precious.
So cute. They're so cute.
Those little girls are so cute.
I'm also putting Bach on my nightmare because low-key, he's going to be so paranoid and like annoying. Like he's going to be like standing on books the whole time. He's going to be like trying to be played off that he's cool and like done this before, but like hasn't.
Ethan Slater really did embody the Tin Man. Like,
oh, when he did the like pull up. Yeah. It's funny. I saw a tweet that was like, there's some really specific foreshadowing you guys are like gonna freak. Like I figured it out. And then I was literally, I cannot believe it, but in my head I was like, they were like, it has to do with Bach. And I was like, I wonder if it's when he did his like Tin Man thing. And then it was. So they just it was almost so much love and care.
Tweets of people who don't really know what's going on. And they're like, guys, and here's another Easter egg. Elphaba is actually green in this, and that is a subtle nod to the fact that she will be the Wicked Witch of the West. How'd she find the westward sky? She didn't have a compass.
Well, the North Star, babe. Duh.
Okay,
duh.
So
Maybe
next time we're together, I'm gonna say, Caroline,
and you're like, which way is west?
And
I'll tell you.
And it's nighttime. I'm gonna say, Caroline, which way is west?
Phoebe, they have a good sense of direction.
Well, so do I.
By they, I mean witch. She's a witch. So it probably was easier for her to figure it out. Oh fuck! I just had something I wanted to say about that. It's gone. Somebody submitted a question. Advice: is it worth confronting a best friend who has all of a sudden 100% ghosted you?
I mean, I feel like we need more context.
So here, I have a few different like takes on this. The first, but it all depends on context. The first thing is, are they actually your best friend? Like, are they your best friend? You talk to them every single day, you hang out with them all the time. Like, they would call you their best friend, your best friends, and they literally blocked you, stopped talking to you completely for like over a week. If that is the case, I would say yeah. I would be like, call them up. But you know what? Here's the thing, guys. You want to hear a story about me? I'll tell a story. Fine. This is an anecdote. Phoebe's going to be in disbelief that I'm telling, but I'll tell it. I had someone who I was best friends with. Whole family loved this guy. Loved him. And we were best friends.
The whole family loved this guy.
Now Phoebe's rolling her eyes because she now doesn't love him anymore. But you did.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about someone who decided to stop being my friend. So this person was like one of my best friends, and they maybe caught some feelings, whatever. We crossed the line. Okay. We crossed the line out of friendship into romance one time. And then I was like, oh, let's never do that again. Let's just like nothing. I just want to be friends. Like we were like best friends. This was a mistake. You're my brother. But I didn't say any of that to him. All I just said was like, I just hope that we can just keep, nothing's going to change. And this person completely ghosted me. Like when I tell you, like they were supposed to come watch the hockey game with me and my dad the next day and like didn't show up. And just never, like, I'm texting them, like, hello, are you coming? Like, last time I tried to leave Pittsburgh without saying goodbye to go back to school, they, like, had a conniption. So I was like, okay, this is just so bizarre. Like, this is exactly what I didn't want to happen. It feels weird now, whatever. So I decided we're best friends. Like, I'm not just letting this go. And I called this man, like, every day. I would just call him and leave a message like, hey, fuck you. You can't do this to me. We're friends. You told me nothing would change. Why are you doing this? Like, just call me. Never was I interested in pursuing anything. I just wanted to be friends with them. And finally he answers one time and says, we just don't see eye to eye on this. And we did not speak for another year. And that was that. And he tried to apologize a year later, but we have no relationship now. And like we were best friends for 5 years. And it was the biggest heartbreak because it was one of the only times I've ever felt used in my life. And it was also like, what about all that friendship? Like, did that mean nothing to you? Like, was that all it was? Was just, I just couldn't believe it. And I think I know, that what happened, but it still hurts. Like, it's still a painful thing because it's like, that was someone that just shocked us so much by doing this horrible thing. And we didn't expect it at all. So in that case, he told everyone I was crazy for calling him all the time and said I got clingy. Luckily, we have the same friends and they were like, well, Caroline's a lot of things, but she's not really clingy. And they didn't really buy it. But like, that's what happened. So it kind of backfired. That's with the boy. And like, there was other stuff involved, but that was like really, really hard to get over. And I called them every single day because I was like, you owe me this. And so obviously he didn't feel that way. That's why I'm asking if this is like actually like, would this person say they're your best friend too? Because maybe he wouldn't have said that about me. Obviously our friendship was not that important, But then there's also the part of this where like I had another friend. Am I the problem? Just kidding. I had another friend who Phoebe was thinking of who didn't really ghost me, like pretty much told me what was up. It was just like, you're boy crazy and I'm not interested in being your friend anymore. And just stop being my friend completely. Like actually completely.
Because Caroline was boy crazy over the man that she ended up marrying.
I am now married to him. Yep. So that friendship, I'm like, honestly, no, not worth it. Like, I think I did confront him and he didn't care. And I just was like more hurt and I was pissed I reached out. So I think it depends on what kind of friendship it is and like the degree to which they actually ghosted you. But that's kind of insane. And you need to know that like that's not a normal thing for someone to do. And if they're ghosting you, then that's just like not a good friend.
I've not quite been in this situation. I think that, I don't know. Caroline is better at giving advice on this sort of thing because I am super incredibly avoidant. And what I do when I get a sense that like a friend is mad at me is like Mimi sometimes will like get very quiet. I call it her quiet moods. And it's when I like think she's maybe mad at me or maybe she's not mad at me and she's just like annoyed at a bunch of stuff. So I'll just like send her TikToks and
Phoebe does this to me too and she thinks I'm annoyed with her.
Yeah, I do it to a lot of people. But I don't know. I'm really conflict averse. So for me, it would cause me immense stress. And I would just hope that like one day something would happen that would fix it.
Okay, let's say it's your best friend. Like it's Mimi and it's not a quiet mood. she just actually 100%, like, let's just take this submission at face value, okay? She 100% ghosts you. You're texting her.
If it were Mimi, I'd probably call her. Because also it's like, what if something's wrong?
Well, like, I'm literally, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I call and she's not answering and like I'm texting, like if I don't see her posting anywhere and she's gone ghost on me and like nothing happened that I know of, I'm going to her house and like banging the door down, you know? I'm calling her parents. Like,
I think it's also like you can talk to your friends and be like, so what's the vibe right now? Like, is she talking to
for
you
sure
guys?
should talk to your
Like,
friends
what's
and be
going
like,
on?
is everything okay with so and so? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
that I can
and
relate
also
to
like
more at the moment.
yeah.
Well, I'm just the type that's like, I won't reach out to you individually if I feel like things are weird, but like if you're like I have a group chat with my friends, so like when I go home, I text them and I'm like, all right, it's these people. It doesn't really matter if I've like spoken to all of them super recently. It's like, I'll text in here, and then slowly but surely you'll start showing what's up.
Yeah, weeding people out, in other words. Anyway,
but I'm the kind of person who's not necessarily going to like, to me, I'm a lot more like,
and sometimes that's better, because honestly, if you're gonna be the confrontational one like me, you're opening yourself up to like getting hurt more, and also to like being rejected and like looking like a fool. Like I felt so betrayed and horrible after like because you know there is something, it's like when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And like when, you know, this guy who I thought loved me as a friend and we were best friends, when he stopped speaking to me, like I should have just said, you know, but it was too painful, I couldn't, but I should have just said like, oh, okay, I guess we're just like, that's it, we're not. But I was prepared. I was like fine to let the romantic part of it go away. I just wanted the friendship, and I think that's ultimately why he couldn't. But it's like, use your words. But
I think also as you get older and not a romantic friendship, I think that it's like as you get older, you kind of friendships start to mean different things to different people. And are you in a place where that friendship can just be like, I see you every so often and it's fine, and I don't need to like if you can get yourself into that headspace and it's not going to hurt you, then it's maybe like, your maybe your friendship will actually benefit on both ends if you guys start, if it's like, well, this is just like we just go out and
maybe you need to
every
just
so
like
often and we see each other, and it's not like I text you all the time or you respond to me or anything like that.
You just like adjust your expectations of the friendship, I think. Like, but sometimes like, again, I don't know to the extent of which you've been ghosted, but like that would leave a lot of questions for me. Like I would be like, I mean, and that's how I felt. Like I was just like, can you at least respond and let me know you're ghosting me? Like, can you at least respond and let me know that like and that's eventually what I started saying in the calls. I'm like, if you like genuinely, if this is done, like we're not friends anymore, that's fine. I just need you to tell me so I stop calling you. And like I think that's when he said we don't see eye to eye. But I was so mortified when I came home and I'm hanging out with my other guy friends and they're like, oh yeah, like he said you're like so clingy and crazy. And I was like, what? Like, first of all, why are you talking about me? We're all friends. And like, he was like, I just didn't understand how it got there. And then I was like, God, I so regret like even trying. Like I regret calling. I regret all of that. Cause one, I feel fucking stupid and misunderstood. And two, like I just gave him so much power, you know, to like, and so at the end of the day, you should look inward. And are you ignoring something that you did? Like, is there something you did? Is the other thing that they ghosted you for, and you're just like maybe you're both not being good friends. So also ask yourself that. But you know, I don't know. Anyway, if you want more specific advice, just send us some deets and we will. And I was thinking maybe one Tuesday episode we should do an advice, like a full advice episode. Now that we like have the space to do a full thing. Okay, a couple other things. If Ariana and Cynthia didn't play Glinda and Elphaba, who would our next choices be? Well, of course, Taylor Louderman. Just kidding. That's not who I would choose. That is not who I would choose.
I would choose.
And I would also not choose Amanda Seyfried.
No, definitely not.
Wouldn't. I mean, right
now I can't picture anybody else in that role.
Ariana was so perfect. There's no one that I think that could do it better. There are just people that I think would do it different. I think, honestly, Renee Rapp could sing the fuck out of it.
I agree, but she couldn't.
But I don't know that she could act.
Her personality is more of an Elphaba.
Yeah,
I just don't
and
know
even
if she
so,
could.
it's like, I don't honestly. there has to be such an innate, like, and I'm going to get fucking Rick Gruskels, but like, you have to be so innately likable. You know what I mean? Like, because these characters both have things that make people turned off to them. So you have to like have that humanity and like be so good underneath it so that people can root for you. Cause otherwise, like, they're not going to do extra work for you to try and root for you. Elphaba, though,
I also don't know.
I mean, Cynthia was so perfect. I love that they chose a woman of color for this. I think that it just like enhances the story so much. Like just that undertone, you know, that she's doing this, playing this part and telling this story as somebody who has experienced discrimination based on her skin color. You know, like it's kind of fascinating to me that it hasn't been a person of color all these years, you know?
Well, initially Adina was chosen because she was Jewish, partly because
I didn't know that.
In the 30s and 40s, witch symbolism was often used to depict a Jewish person. So like it was anti-Semitic propaganda a lot of the time. So I think that partly Stephen Schwartz, I think, talked about how he wanted it to be played by a Jewish woman because that's what, like, when, and thinking about when Wizard of Oz came out, like that would have been that would have been in line with that. So I think but I do it still built off of that, of like having someone in that role that knows what it's like to feel othered for something that you can't control, I think is important.
And I think it's interesting too because it's like, the show's always been political. And
especially that line. I mean,
even The Wizard of Oz is political.
What Jeff Goldblum says when he says the best way to bring people together is to give them one really good enemy. It's like that is just 1940s Germany. I mean, like that's it.
It's always been political. So people who are like, oh, it's so they made it political. No, it's been political. And like what you just said is
that would be like saying cabaret. They've just made cabaret a little too political.
It's a little too political.
Like, well, that is the point.
Did you notice the Stephen Schwartz cameo in Wicked? Do you know what he looks like? I didn't know if you knew what he looked like.
The wizard will see you now.
The wizard will see you now. Again, like the cameos were so great because they didn't
in your face. If you didn't know who Stephen Schwartz was, you wouldn't know.
You would miss it. Blink and you miss it. Anyway, okay. Best movie musical is Wicked. It is Wicked, but close runner-ups for me, Sound of Music is like
the bootleg of Alan Cummings' Cabaret,
which is not a movie musical, but there is Cabaret. Isn't Cabaret a movie musical? There is a version.
Yes, of course. I just don't love it as much.
It's just not. Chicago is one of the greatest. Dreamgirls.
I love In the Heights.
I loved In the Heights. I think John Chu has found his spot. Like he is so good
choreography, and I mean, thank goodness he did the Step Up films because
oh my god, I know. Well, he's so good at the filming of, you know, like he's such a good director of photography too. Like you know, and In the Heights was fabulous. I just said Dreamgirls. Hairspray was
how could
for
I forget?
Sure.
Hairspray
how
was
could
actually
we forget?
Life-changing.
Hairspray for a lot of people was like, I feel like it was one of the first that was like big. Well, Rent. It was like Rent. How could I forget Rent? Of course,
but I do think on Hairspray, I think that it did what Wicked is doing of like, it's not just like, I think the problem with a lot of movie musicals that are actual movie adaptations of stage musicals. It's like In the Heights, people that aren't really theater people weren't necessarily drawn in to go see it.
Yeah.
Whereas with Wicked and with Hairspray, it bridged the gap of like everybody's seeing these movies. And Hairspray was like that.
I wonder if part of that is the casting. Do you think?
Probably partially, but I also just think that like
Nikki Blonsky was a nobody.
I do think people know. Maybe it's also knowing the story. In the Heights is popular in the theater realm. Like everybody knows it and loves it, but outside they might not know they know Hamilton.
It's also it's funny because it's like they're both Lin-Manuel Miranda, so it's just kind of funny that they're different. Okay, we talked about that. We talked about all right. Well, do you want to do your rotation?
No, you go first. Your dream.
Oh right, lucky me. Okay, well, first up on my dream rotation. Sorry, do you see what this phone is doing to my face?
Yeah, Caroline has a strobe attached.
Is that
to her
insane
camera.
or what? Okay, first
no more
up,
fun in the movies.
No more fun in the movies is right. First up is the idea of crashing out. I freaking love it. I love that we're just using like
so
crash
funny.
out as
It's
like
so funny.
an adjective, a noun, like a verb, you know, it's whatever you need it to be. And I, for one, am a crash out girly. Like that is just true about me. And I think it's so funny. It's one of those terms that I'm just freaking loving. Thank you, internet. Next up, I would be remiss not to put Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. And I kind of want to put Glinda and Elphaba, but I want both of them too. So like specifically their versions, what a gift they've given us. Like there could not be two better women to helm this project. They crushed it. I mean, they gave us everything we wanted. Kelly and I were saying like we woke up the next day and it was like we felt happiness. Like I felt it was like genuinely healing. It was something
And
that
you
like my
didn't-
inner child really needed. So
You
it
didn't see
great.
Ariana Grande and you didn't see Cynthia Erivo.
no,
You saw the
I was not
characters.
thinking, oh, this is Ari. You know, I was really like
Except for
and-
that one riff
Yes,
in Popular, I think.
it's
It's right at the beginning, I feel like.
what they need or something.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that is like so pop star.
They need. I can't do it. They need. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I don't
something
know
like
what it is.
that. But Steven Schwartz said that when they were going through the arrangement for the movie, which I also think just like
That's it.
having access to these people and actually utilizing them and respecting their opinion more than your
Yes.
own, I think is so vital to creating a good movie musical or any sort of
Yes.
adaptation. But Steven Schwartz was talking about doing Popular with Ariana Grande, and he changed he did the key changes at the end, and he was like, I played it for her, and she was like, okay, but I need to know that you're not doing this because of Ariana Grande.
Oh
She
my
was
god,
like-
I love that.
He was like, she really wanted us to be authentic to the role and to the original music for Popular. And he was like, no, if I had thought about this, if I had thought of this 20 years ago, it would be in the musical. And he was like, I
Yeah.
would put it in the stage musical now. And
Yeah.
so she was like, okay, as long as you're not just doing it because I'm
God, I
singing
love
it,
that.
which I
She
just think
I
is
love
so
her.
cool.
Yes.
And that's why I'm so glad I went to someone like her. Not
Me
to
too.
say Miss Taylor Louderman wouldn't have
I'm sure you would have
respected
been
the role.
great. You would have been great, but this is, and who's to say that you know, edit wasn't inspired by Ari? I don't think it was because it's her, but maybe they were inspired by what the gift and the tools they had, and they were like, oh well, she can do it, and let's just see. And then they loved it, and they're like, well, I would add it. You know, like who knows if it was? I know it wasn't just because of her, but like if you know what you're working with.
Yeah.
Sometimes it opens doors, and like
It's
that's
like
an
what
example of
Lin-Manuel
that.
Miranda always said about Christopher Jackson. And he was like, if you can't riff like him, read it as written. he was like, they're written how I want them to sound, but
Yep.
I know what he has, and he has more tools than I have
the average
to
person,
do
and if you
what
don't,
he
yeah.
needs to do. And if you
Oh
don't,
my God,
if
wait.
you can't,
Can I say
Go
really
ahead.
quick?
what?
Can I just say that I had breakfast with Anthony's grandma this weekend,
Oh my God,
and
queen. She reminds me a bit of Ariana Grande's grandma. Did you see the video
Well,
of her
listen.
singing?
Listen to this. She
Oh my
goes,
gosh.
well, I was telling your mother, Anthony, that I did not like the Wicked movie. I didn't like what they did with Cinderella's prince, and I honestly thought Meryl Streep was terrible. She thought I was Into the Woods. She goes, they took all the good stuff out of the fairy tales, and it was not Wicked. It was Into the Woods. And so then we're talking about Into the Woods, and she goes, oh, and how was Ariana Grande? And we're like, she was so good. And she goes, well, I like her. She loves her grandma, her Nona.
The fact that
And I
she
was like,
knows
I
that.
love that. You know that. Like
It's the
that's-
Italian grandma community. They all
Yes.
can sense when
She's
someone
like
loves their
literally,
Nona.
literally so funny. So anywho, yeah, it's. I just had to share. Oh, and then the other thing she said was, oh, and next weekend there's a movie I really want to see, Gladiator 2. So I was thinking we could go to lunch and then go see Gladiator 2. And if you haven't seen the first one, I've seen it numerous times and I'll tell you all about it. I was like, don't worry, my dad's made me watch it.
She's sitting in that seat for Paul Mescal and Paul
I
Mescal
know. I was like, well, I'll
only.
be there. I'll be there. Anyway,
And
sorry.
he
Go on
just-
with your nightmare.
It doesn't even matter if the movie's good because I haven't even seen the first one. I'm going for
There
one
will be
reason and one
something good about
reason
it. Something good to
only.
see. Dad never made you come in and go.
Well, I've
Just
definitely-
come watch this. Come watch this.
Well, but I've never sat down and watched it on my own volition, so my
Yeah.
memory of
I
the
might
film
have to
isn't-
this week.
I should probably watch it. Because I'll
Put it on your letterboxed.
I'll definitely be going to see it.
Yeah, I know that.
All right, my rotation. First is this Glinda hate train.
What?
Like, I understand.
Oh
there's
damn! I
nuance
should
to
have put
her
the Nessa
character.
hate train on my dream though.
Like, I
Loving it.
understand. I understand that there's nuance to her character, and like we probably disagree with what she's doing, but I don't.
Who? Oh,
I don't
thought you meant
see
Ariana.
her as a bad person.
can I say
still see her-
something?
What?
This might get me. I mean, but what else is new? I don't think she's a bad person, and I don't think we have to disagree with what she's doing because here's the thing: most people are not doing
do
what
what she
Elphaba
did.
does. Most people aren't doing what Elphaba does. Most
Especially those little
people,
those
are-
keyboard warriors.
yeah, most people are doing what Glinda does because technically Glinda's not breaking the law. She's following, even though she's scared and she might not be doing it for the right reasons. Like that is a decision most of us would make in that situation. So I think that it's kind of like shitty and ridiculous for you to think that if the Wizard of Oz was trying to use you as a weapon and completely duped you into thinking you were going to help and he was going to help you, and then you find out that's not what's going to happen and you decide you're going to just trust that maybe this broomstick will fly and jump off and your best friend doesn't want to go with you, maybe she's not the villain. Okay?
I know, and I just think
Someone's
this
got to
idea-
stay back and make sure to like. Here's the other thing: if Glinda went with her, who's protecting Elphaba?
That's the thing. Like that's what I feel like people. Maybe the people that mainly feel this way think they understand what happens in part 2.
They think
And they
she's
think-
dead.
They think she's just submissive and like completely like just a product of the system, and that's what she
Mhm.
is in the second movie. But I think so much of what she does is out
Is
of
to
love and
protect
protection for
Elphaba.
Elphaba and her other friends. Because someone, and I don't entirely disagree with this take, but someone was talking about how in No One Mourns the Wicked when she says, goodness knows the wicked die alone, like that, when she's singing that, people are
talking
like,
about
she's kind of
herself.
singing about herself.
Yes.
And I think that she does see herself that way, so we don't have to see her that way.
yes.
We can get off sweet Glinda's back.
I think she has a lot of self-loathing, and I said this in the Patreon, but I think Glinda's like kind of a follower, and honestly, like a lot of the mean things she does are influenced by other people. Like, and
The one comment, and I couldn't remember what it was when we were doing the Patreon, and I kind of pushed back on that of her like actually being mean, was when they're in the classroom, and Elphaba like
the artichoke
sticks up.
esteemed. Yeah,
She-
but
she came up with that one all on
can I
her
say
own.
something though? But did you notice after
The look
that?
after.
Yeah, and they both there's like they love it. They both like it. That's the thing. It isn't like, and Elphaba says maybe your precious name. Like Elphaba does come for Glinda, and so Glinda respond. I mean, if I were Glinda, I would have jumped over the table. But Glinda just says, "It seems the artichoke is steamed," and then it's like they give each other this little smile, like that's we'll see what you do tomorrow. And
Mhm.
I don't think it's genuinely mean. Like I also think
It's
that doesn't
flirting.
offend Elphaba. What?
It's flirting.
It's flirting. If we're gonna really go with what you guys think, it's flirting. No, but I think it's like, and I really believe that it's kind of like it's only okay when I say it. You know what I mean? Like Linda
Yeah,
says
yeah.
that, but like, and not that she would have said don't say that to someone else, but like she's the only one who says that. And
Mm-hmm.
so
It's like too
I
gay
don't
to
know.
function.
Yes, it's kind of like that.
It's like
exactly.
Mean
So like
Girls.
again, I know I'm like such a Glinda apologist, but I just
that's okay
genuinely
with
think
me.
also like this is for, you have to realize they're going to college, okay? And imagine who you were, whoever you are listening, when you went to college. Do you want to be judged on the 18-year-old you and who that was? Because that's how old Glinda is, by the way. She's a freshman in college, okay? So let's just be clear about that. Like,
I'm not getting on
She-
any broomstick and flying away.
no,
to the
and she also
westward sky
doesn't know
when we
who
don't
she
have a compass.
is. She's learning who she is. She's going through a period of self-discovery. Like, she's not a finished product. None of them are.
Right.
And this is just happens to be when this is happening. And I think you can put that context there and realize. And the other thing is, like, all these tweets are like, it's so funny because Glinda having Dorothy get in those little ruby red slippers and walking the yellow brick road, knowing there's a train and knowing the wizard can do nothing. You think that was to help Dorothy? Like, you don't think that was to buy time for Elphaba?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know.
Next up is 5-date tours, quote unquote tours. Hey,
yeah.
Hey Charlie, that's
Hey
not
Charlie,
a
I'll
tour.
see you in the pre-sale line tomorrow. But like, what?
Charlie, that's not a tour.
No.
That's a little trip. That's a weekend
Yeah.
trip.
Yes.
I'm tired of it.
Why
I wanna see
isn't she
dates.
just doing a huge tour?
I don't know, because she could. The sweat tour also should have been longer, but I know that I have more grace for that because they didn't know how big it was going to be.
If I don't go to this tour, Phoebe, it's going to be as if I didn't get to see Wicked. It's going to be like that because I deserve it. I deserve
Yeah.
it. I want to see it.
Fair
I
enough.
want to go.
Me too. I just am a little bit
You
annoyed, and
already
it's
got
a
to go.
habit. It's a thing that's starting to happen in like Maggie Rogers also. Like her tour was over in a blink. It's like
But also like
What?
Maggie Rogers tours more frequently than Charlie, so it's like more annoying.
I know, but I just don't like seeing that this is a trending thing that people
Yeah.
are doing tours where
Like,
they're only
and why is it?
touring
Because they don't know if
5
they can sell it, and they're just trying to like
I don't know what it is.
create urgency. Like they're not going to be
But I
able to
just-
sell an
I
arena tour in
just
every city,
feel-
so put them in these ones, and people will travel.
Maybe. I just feel like if you're going to do this big rollout and you're going to get billboards in all these cities, there need to be more than 5.
I agree with you.
Because that's like not even a month of touring.
Yeah.
I mean, technically,
No.
if you're doing it Eras tour style, it's a month of touring. If you're doing it like how most people tour, it's like a week.
It's
Anyway.
5 fucking shows.
Last
She's like, my body can't take it. It's way too much cocaine to do more than 5 shows.
next, it was a toss up between Heather and Brittany, but I ended up
Oh.
going with Heather.
You guys, what
was
about
crazy.
me?
Did she understand that? I mean, the full standing up, and then somehow Meredith is the one who leaves that
I
lunch.
go, what about you?
I was
Girl.
a little bit like, and I also, I mean, this is, we're not even talking about Heather yet, but with Meredith leaving, I'm a little bit like, wait, Meredith, she wasn't immediately siding with
I think,
Angie.
yeah. I think
She
Meredith got too
wanted-
embarrassed.
She wanted to hear what everybody was saying, and then Meredith turned it into this thing where Mary was like, okay, then leave.
Yeah.
Like if Meredith had listened to what Mary was saying, she would have seen like she wanted to hash it out. She just didn't want everybody yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Whitney,
I think Meredith,
I
though,
did s-
Meredith
I did
can't
see
hear,
your
I
fingers
think.
moving. Oh,
Oh.
we did hear that.
Whitney, I did see your fingers moving.
Whitney-
But Meredith, I think
Whitney's
that
on my rotation every week, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
just
she's
a
so
ghost
permanently
nomination every
permanent
week.
nightmare. Meredith, I think, had a knee-jerk reaction because she didn't hear the beginning of what Mary said. Mary said, if you're not going to behave, leave my house. And I think
Mhm.
Meredith only heard leave my house. And so she got up to leave. And then when they were like, what are you doing? Like, no. And she's like, no. I am leaving. You know, like, I wonder if it was like, she was
Maybe,
too
'cause she
embarrassed to
did say
admit that
she
she like
couldn't
missed,
hear.
she wasn't going to sit down after that. Like that's actually more embarrassing than just leaving. But the yelling on the way out after you're going to say earlier that day that you don't yell.
Mhm.
Meredith tells Bronwyn she doesn't yell.
But
I
I
couldn't.
do believe that in her relationship with Seth, though. I believe
think
that when
so, too.
she's not around these women, she probably is like pretty chill.
That's why when she does yell, it's like crazy. And it's
like
always a
suddenly you have
meme.
an accent. Suddenly you
Yeah,
have an
exactly.
accent.
Exactly.
But Heather's on here because she is doing. I think this is one of the greatest downfalls a housewife can have.
I was going to
which
say,
is
what a
when
fall from grace.
they become no, but I mean like this trope here happens sometimes when a housewife becomes so aware that they're a housewife and they're trying to manufacture some kind of storyline, but it ends up coming off as more desperate, and the storyline ends up being that they're jealous and trying to create
Yeah.
a storyline basically. And it's like,
Mhm.
you didn't need to have this conversation with Bronwyn. The answer, and I am a little bit like, I'm on Bronwyn's side with this, but Bronwyn, the answer to me seems simple. It was a couple's trip. Everybody there had a husband. So I'm a little bit like, that could be the answer. You frankly didn't have to invite Heather over to your house to begin with. It could have just been, it's a couple's trip.
It could have been, but then that brings a well, so you're going to discriminate. You know, Brittany would have been like, well, what about me and Jared? that's what she would have
Which
said.
is what she said, I think. She was like, and I literally have a boyfriend. I literally have
Yeah.
a
And she's like, you
partner.
have 3. And she's like, ah. The girl's like, I'm jealous. But I felt like, honestly, Bronwyn handled it perfectly. I could not, I mean, Heather is giving you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
It's just too much. The thing that about Angie that works, and at first what I was worried about at the beginning of the season with the scroll was like, she's aware that she's like, Lisa Barlow is perfect because she's aware she's a housewife, but almost in a way where she's not aware that she's a housewife.
But I have to tell you, Fee, like, Lisa's
No,
kind of losing
the last couple episodes have been tough.
I'm
but
just
I'm
like
standing
this.
by her for right now.
I'm
We'll see what
always gonna
happens.
love her, but like the way that she is behaving is like kind of insane. Like I'm
I agree.
just
It's a little much.
not into it. And I'm also just like, I mean, I'm so with Bronwyn. When Bronwyn at the table is like, am I the only one who thinks it's crazy we're even talking about this? Like that I didn't buy you a first class ticket. This is crazy. And Heather being like, well, then why would you buy yourself one? And Bronwyn's like, because it was my goddamn credit card. I just thought that was like work, bitch.
Well, it's true.
Heather, like, what are you? I just thought, and then at the end, Heather's like, okay, well, then I'm good with this. If you think Bronwyn's good with it, you're crazy. You don't just get to do that, Heather. Like, you're not.
But Angie makes it work because she does it in a campy way. Like she's like, she knows like the bunny lore of Beverly Hills. Like she is able to pick out these things that she can tastefully add to her character on the show in a way that doesn't make her
like she's just building her
like,
character.
unlikable.
She's not really building drama. You know what I mean?
Which is
and that's
all
where
Heather's
it's like
trying to do.
Heather's just bringing like, let me be the one to bring in this story because I'm the one who brings I'm the one who does this at the table.
And she wants the screenshots.
Yeah, exactly. So,
she wants that moment again so badly. And Heather, you got it. You don't need it again.
You got it. And the
Give
moment
us a
has
couple
gone
seasons.
now. If you keep like living and dying for it, then like you're not going to have another moment. You know, we don't want this to just be one moment for you. I just don't think that Angie's actually a bad person. Like, I don't think that she's really mean. I think that she knows she's a housewife and she's a fan of the housewives. And so she's going to give us a housewife, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
She's giving us the real, she's giving us the raw, she's giving us the drama, she's giving us the goofiness, like everything. Angie honestly is like, Angie and Bronwyn are really winning this season for me. I only wish they would stop hitching themselves to Whitney. I'm so sick of Whitney Rose.
That's where they lose me. And I don't, which is, I think like, this is Whitney wants to act like she's such a good friend, like such a fierce, loyal friend, but they should be able to look at how she's treating Heather right now and all this drama. Not that Heather's the right side to take in all of this, but like you want to be seen as fiercely loyal.
Yeah.
Be loyal to your friend who you've known longer than Bronwyn.
Also, Heather, the birthday thing. When she's like, I know, how'd you book my ticket? Because I won't tell anybody my birthday. Okay, that's not like cool. Like, that's just seems like some obnoxious thing you're clinging to. And Bronwyn's like, I asked someone else. And like the fact that like Bronwyn published the ticket, like we know she bought them both tickets and Heather's acting like that. I'm just like, you look so stupid. Like, it's giving black eye defensive Heather is like how I felt. I was like, I know you don't have a black eye right now, but you might as well. It's how you're acting. I feel. Agree. And it was also because I feel like she thought she was coming to Lisa's defense. And like, they're like, it was crazy. I think Real Housewives of Salt Lake is like one of the greatest shows I've ever watched in my life. But it is so good.
The craziest moment, and she didn't even make it on the rotation for it, was Brittany standing up at the table, all 4 feet of her.
I laughed so fucking. And also when she walks in, she goes, oh my God, I love your little Audrey Hepburn vibe. And Mary's like, you mean every single person at the table is wearing fake like, what do you mean? She only looks at Meredith and says it.
When they come in and they're like, oh, did she get a different invitation than all of us because she was late? And Mary's goes,
like, no.
Same one as all of you.
How about us finding out in the after show that Mary had a personalized engraved Tiffany perfume made for each woman with their names on it and didn't give it to them because they didn't dress well enough. She said that on the after show. She's like, I just didn't think any of, like, they brought it, so I didn't feel like I should give it out. I still have it. And she's like, well, you can give me mine. She's like, I'll give you yours. Yeah. But I still have them. But then, Mary, your house, it's in foreclosure?
I know.
That's troubling
for her. And Andy says
I really like her this season.
Andy said that this week's episode is going to be a tough watch.
I can tell it's going to be heavy. But I think it's an important thing. I know in the beginning of this, I was like, this feels very exploitative, and I just don't think that we should be seeing this. But now that it looks like they're going to address it, and I'm talking about Robert Jr., that I think it's an important storyline to show. As long as they're just going to do it responsibly, you know. It's.
I agree.
But God, anyway. Well, Salt Lake is so good, and there's a new Beverly Hills, and we got this iconic shot of Dorit lighting a fucking cigarette in the car.
Someone said, Glinda, is it true you were her friend? And then that was the picture.
That's the new Ben Affleck standing outside looking exasperated. Actually, I need to add that to my framing wall, the Dorit with the cigarette out the car window. Anywho, I think that's everything. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, that wraps it up for me.
All right, guys. Well, on Thursday, you're going to get season 6, episode 3. But 3 or 2? 3. But it's also the golf cart day. So I'm hoping Phoebe's going to have a lot of content, probably going to go live bright and early. So if you're up, hop in that live. Ask Phoebe to show you whatever you want to see, okay? She is our BOTG, boots on the ground that day. I hope you all have an amazing Thanksgiving. I will be watching football in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and Wicked, which is the highlight of the day for me. On Patreon Friday, we are going to have our Martha documentary recap. So tune into that for all honorary Connell sisters. And if you want to hear our deep dive on Wicked, last week's Patreon is up. Thank you all for listening. We love you. Please leave us a 5-star rating, and we will see you next week.
And splat.
I'm walking here.